SA Squash, together with top player and coach Craig van der Walt, hosted a series of PSA Ranking satellite tournaments with the aim of giving local players a chance to earn valuable PSA ranking points, which would then help them climb the world rankings and gain entry to bigger international tournaments overseas.
This event is the first one of 2019 in South Africa. It's part of a circuit of more than 10 PSA closed satellite tournaments whereby players can earn world ranking points by playing these events right here in South Africa. It's a tournament that has sections for all levels of players, from that professional level right down to the B, C, D section in the men's, where we've got lower league players. They're here to compete under tournament conditions to see what it's like, and on the court next door to them there's world ranked players fighting for world ranking points. And it's also a great way of integrating our top juniors with our senior players that are out there playing very competitively and have a wealth of experience to impart to those juniors.
This series was also a wonderful opportunity for the next generation of potential squash champions in this country to test themselves against older, more experienced players in the high-pressure tournament environment.
In the past, there's been a little bit of a gap between junior tournaments and senior tournaments. So some of our top juniors in the country never get to mix it on court in competition with our top 10 or top 20 players in both men's and ladies. And tournaments like this are designed to bridge the gap. We've got top junior girls from the age of 14 years old upwards playing against our top 20 in the country. And it's a real great opportunity for them to be exposed to that and to learn from these players. You're talking about players that have been traveling overseas to PSA, played in World Juniors Championships several years ago, and some of them are students recently having gone to the World Student Games. So there's so much experience in this country, and it's an untapped source of opportunity for our juniors, instead of having to go overseas where the cost is exorbitant.
Events of this nature need commitment from players, coaches and administrators to succeed. But they would all find it very hard to present the tournament if it weren't for the support of one of the world's leading racket manufacturers, Brits.
Well, we've been involved with squash for 30 years. I think Brits launched their first squash rackets in probably 1988, and then launched a brand new, at that time, extended head shape of a racket in 1990. And from that day on, I've been involved in both the sponsorship and distribution of squash rackets under the Prince brand. It always surprises me when I get to these tournaments, and as you know, we sponsor a junior tournament later in the year as well, and the amount of enthusiasm and the number of people and the participation from parents helping these kids to be at tournaments. At a tournament like this, where it's PSA ranking points, the participation numbers are fantastic. So we're extremely enthusiastic about the game and where it's going. And thanks to the likes of Craig and his executive committee.
There was an excellent entry for the women's tournament, and there were two divisions. The A division was won by South African Country Districts player Alexa Pienaar. Alexa had straight game wins over Hannah McBride, Angelique Clifton-Parks and Taylor Diepenbroek. In the final, Alexa needed 4 games to get past Panache Sitole. Panache won the first game 8-11, but then Alexa found her stride and cleaned up the next 3, 11-4, 11-2, 11-4, to take the win and those valuable PSA ranking points.
Yeah, it was a very good tournament. First PSA of the year, first PSA for me as a registered PSA player. So I think there was a little bit of pressure. There were some challenging matches. I think my final was obviously the most challenging, mentally as well as physically. Panache is a very skilled player, very good touch. But I'm glad. I'm happy to have pulled through.
In the men's tournament, another South African Country Districts player prevailed. JPBIES, though, had to work hard to get past Francisco Kafula in the first round. He had a walkover over Ruan Ulafir in the second. In the semi-final, a young man with huge potential, Amuzita, took a game off JP, but the occasion got a little too big for him and he was beaten in 4 games. In the final, JP was too strong for Dylan Groenewald, winning 11-4, 11-2, 11-2. That win was worth a hugely valuable 30 PSA.
Very happy with my performance today. I really focused on my match, had a clear game plan of what I wanted to do, and I think I just was clinically very good. I really closed the game down and forced him to attack a little bit from uncomfortable positions and then get onto the balls quickly to counter-attack from there, and I forced a lot of errors from him. So Dylan's a very good player and he's very quick on the ball, so if you're not accurate and denying him opportunities, then he can be really a difficult player to play against.
JP Brits is the highest ranked South African on the men's world tour. This is as a result of his huge dedication to training and preparation. He is guided by the vastly experienced former international player Craig van der Walt and a conditioning coach, Wayne Taylor, who ensures that JP is in the best possible physical condition every time he goes on court.
I'm very fortunate to have a great team behind me. Every week I see my fitness coach Wayne Taylor 3 times for hour-and-a-half sessions, making sure the movement patterns is good and that the right muscles are activated during my movements. And it really helps a lot, not only in the physical way, but being more professional, preparation, and all of those things makes a big difference. And then from there I have a session with Craig van der Walt, my squash coach, and we really go into the detail of what I want to achieve on court, the decision-making on court and execution, and really making sure that I lift my standard and play on a world-class level, and then eventually have the right game to beat the top players in the world.
Yeah, it's been good working with JP. I think we've seen him progress nicely, and one of the things I was looking for in his performance is his composure and his ability to get to anywhere on the court and do what his coach Craig wants him to do, and I thought he looked really sharp today. Yeah, JP's the ultimate professional, so we always want to be improving, and I think he's working really hard towards those things. One of the things he's working really hard towards is his shot accuracy with Craig, so my job's to help him get into good positions. I think when his fatigue starts to kick in, that's when we're going to see a lack of accuracy. But when he's sharp and he's solid in his positioning, he looks really good. One of the greatest strengths from JP is that he's a perfectionist, so he likes to get things right. Your greatest strength can be your greatest weakness. So for JP, when he doesn't get it right, he starts to beat himself up a little bit. So that's something we've been working towards. You know, he's got a call that comes out sometimes when he needs to take a deep breath and let it go. And he looked a lot sharper today. Sometimes he rattles himself and beats himself up over things that he can't fix. Just needs to be able to let them go and move forward. But he just looks a lot more composed. I think he's comfortable knowing he can get to anywhere on the court. He's like a cockroach. You can't kill him. You put the ball in every corner, he's going to be there. And that's a compliment to him and his conditioning and how hard he works off the court.
Playing at my home club, having all the players and the parents and my friends watching and supporting me, that's a big bonus, and that helps me a lot when it gets a little bit tough, just to push that little bit extra. And then having great sponsors like Salming and Biogen, making sure I've got the right equipment, everything is good, my supplements are all fine, and I recover well for my next matches. So having a good team behind you helps a lot than just trying to thumb suck and just try to see what works. So having a formula and a system that works is really important for a professional athlete.
Aside from gaining PSA points, the secondary goal of the tournament was to blood young players in the heat of a big tournament environment. And this paid off. Young Amuzita gave JP a good fight in their match, while among the women, 14-year-old Elska Garbers was hugely impressive in winning the B section.
Very refreshing to see the amount of junior squash players that entered this tournament, and the amount of top SA squash players also help the juniors to strengthen the squash for the future. And these tournaments are never easy. Every match is a tough match, so it's nice, it's good.
The up-and-coming top junior players must use this opportunity of the closed satellite events to get the experience of playing against the top men in South Africa, and then hopefully that will pull them up and lift the standard of the junior players, and then once they become senior players, they will be at a much higher level than what we started out with. So I think that's the plan, and also building the base for them as professionals to earn points from a young age, and then as soon as they finish school or their studies, then they can go professional and use the points. Amu, the one junior player from Igoli Squash, had an unbelievable event. Not only when he played against me, but he beat some of the other senior players that was top seeds as well, and it was really good to see the young talent coming through, and I really hope this was a good indication for him that what he can achieve, and that he will build on this and aim high in terms of his squash career.
Playing JP was like the best things, one of the best goals in my life, so playing a top player like him was like something else out of this world. And also getting a game it was just too emotional for me. It was too much. It was like, yeah.
For the tournament winners like Alexa and JP, the event was a huge boost. They gained invaluable match play experience, also those crucial 30 ranking points, and saved thousands of rands in doing so, as they didn't have to fly overseas to earn those points.
Thanks to Craig and Squash South Africa for organising the Close Satellites events. The 30 points for me means a lot, and getting it in my own backyard at my home club is a bonus, and I don't have to travel abroad to get these points. So I'm very grateful for them for organising these events, and looking forward to the next events that's coming up.
This was a fantastic initiative by SA Squash and Craig van der Walt, and it's paying rich dividends for the players of all ages and abilities who are looking to take the next step forward in their squash careers.